Yeah, that's nice.
What's up, guys? It's Rev J again. It's been a while since I've been out in the garage for an update video here. I've got one of these fluke 40-something days in Wisconsin in February, so I'm taking the opportunity to get out here and kind of just update you guys in terms of what's going on with me and what's going on with the 66. So obviously I got hit in the end of last summer and I've had a lot of crazy stuff going on with my personal life. For those of you guys didn't know, I was married. I am no longer married, so that's kind of out of the way. Also had a lot of things going on with trying to move and life situations and stuff like that, but really want to get back out to the shop and work on some of this stuff. I've got the Rebuild Everything Yukon sitting over here. Just threw a wash on that today, like washing my car in February. That's really awesome. So that thing's doing good. We did the AVH, 4200 NEX was one of the videos I put up sort of in the beginning of winter here. That thing's been going good. Had the kicker sub in the box we built. Definitely check those videos out. I'll have the playlist links down in the description below for you. So part of the reason I'm out here, aside from letting you guys know what's going on with me, is to talk a little bit about the 66 and what I've got sitting next to me. So if you follow my build over on the 67 to 72 Chevy truck forums, I have shown a few pictures incrementally of what's been going on. We did rebuild the whole back, basically the back half of the frame, still on the stock rear suspension, but now it's switched over to coilovers. So I have pictures of that stuff and I'll have the links down below. So definitely check that out. I do have a full video coming on sort of the frame rebuild and what's been going on with that. It'll be kind of a recap of what we did to the frame, bracing it up, getting it sort of planned and welded, upgrading the rear suspension, which is all in there. So I'm really looking forward to getting that video out for you guys. Still have a lot to do on the body. The big dent in the back of the cab still has to be pulled out, so I'm talking to a couple people right now about that. I have a few ways that I would approach it, but I'm sort of leaning right now into having a professional just pull it out for me and then I'll finish the body work on the rest of it. Other than that, she's doing okay. Got the new fuel cell for her lined up. The truck did start over. I put some Instagram videos of that up. So definitely follow me on Instagram at Rev_J_HD to keep up on the little incremental stuff like that. Otherwise though, guys, it definitely has been kind of a slow winter. I know I haven't had a ton of update videos for you because it's just been too cold in Wisconsin. I kind of do this every year. And this year in particular, I've just had so much personal life stuff going on that it's just been crazy. So one of the biggest challenges facing the rebuild now that the frame is done and sort of I'm dealing with the cab dent is getting the bed rebuilt. I'm able to save the tailgate, it looks like. I have a few parts of the bed sides that might be salvageable, but a lot of that needs to be replaced. And a huge part of that was getting the fenders taken care of. One of them was just destroyed beyond repair, which is a shame. The other one might be fixable, but might not. People have asked me, you know, did I want to maybe go with a fiberglass if I could find one? Did I want to go with a repop? And really, no, I don't. I want to be as much OG steel as possible. I'm okay with having a new motor and electronics and all the cool built stuff that I have, but I've always wanted to keep OG sheet metal as far as I possibly could. So I really wanted to try to salvage those rear fenders or find a donor. And I was really having a hard time doing that being up here in the Midwest. Thankfully, found a dude locally who was parting out a 64, I believe, and he had these. I ended up picking up a matched set left and right. These don't have the spare tire cut out because I didn't want that. These are pretty much exactly what I had on there before. The biggest difference though is that my 66 fenders that I had that sort of indentation thing for the reverse lights, which I ended up Frenching the tail lights into. This doesn't have it, it's the smooth back. Some guys like that more. I'm not sure. I mean, change is hard for us to get over. And that's actually something that I want to sort of transition to talk about, you know. Changing these projects, guys in this hobby, we're so ingrained into, you know, rebuilding a moment in the past or saving these cars and keeping them for years and years and years. But when LS swaps were first getting popular, people thought that was something you really shouldn't be doing. You know, you were ruining cars by putting these LS motors in them. But man, has that ever changed, right? The LS motor has been pretty much embraced by the community. It's widely considered like the best performance platform or one of the best performance platforms, right? I think it's the best, and the guys that I work with all think it's the best, but you know, I digress. And so that's kind of changed. And so attitudes on these builds, I think as much as we want to try to keep them the same, we've got to accept the fact that some things just are going to change, and that's okay. And I mean, I'm talking about going from a 66 fender to a 64 fender, and it doesn't really matter for all intents and purposes, right? It's still going to look the same, it's going to serve the same purpose. But I'm trying to avoid not getting hung up on rebuilding the truck exactly as it was, right? If you've been following my build, you go all the way back when it was gray and first got the LS motor, we lettered the H8RDCPTR Volume 1 on the back of it. And then when it got rebuilt and painted, it was kind of Volume 2, even though it didn't say that on there anywhere. But then we redid the heads and made changes to the bed and the cab and stuff like that. and that was sort of version 2.5. And so I think what I'm leaning towards now is this summer's version of the truck is going to be volume 3 with all the new changes and the slight differences. Yeah, it's still going to be blue, and we're going to go back to all that, and we're going to get it rebuilt to where it was, and it's still going to be LS powered, but there are going to be some small changes, and I hope they're small improvements. So definitely those of you guys that are doing on these things and you ever have to go through a big rebuild, don't get hung up on rebuilding it exactly as it was, right? Progression is everything. You move or you die. So don't be afraid to throw more power in it, upgrade the suspension, do those things, right? Like I said before, hashtag rebuild everything, and this is part of that. We are rebuilding everything, but we can also improve some things. I didn't really mean this to turn into a motivational message, but I think part of it is true, right? These are symbolic extensions of ourselves, and sometimes making improvements, not just pulling things back to what they were, is a big part of going on with life. Let's take a look at these in specific. Found a guy parting out a 64, picked up both fenders. I might go back and talk to him to try to pick up the rest of the bed because it was in salvageable shape. It's matched set, like I said, no spare tire cutout, which is good. They don't have those reverse lens pop-outs, but I'm okay with that. Pretty much only surface rust on these guys. The inside lip here, the inside flange where they bolt to the bed sides, on one of them on the driver's side fender is a little worse. Thankfully the driver's side fender is the one that I might be able to salvage. So I think between this one and the one I've already got, we're gonna put together one pretty solid fender there. This here is the passenger side fender. It's got this little area down here where it looks like it got backed into at some point. We're gonna try to pull that out. Most of the seam is pretty good here, so hopefully we can just hammer this dent out, retain that seam, and then pull a little bit of this out, fill the hole, but it's all pretty minor. No serious damage, no Swiss cheese. The flange on this one is good. The front inner lip and the lower rollover where the metal was formed over the die is all pretty good. That can be kind of a hairy area on some of these. And it really was important to me to just get OG steel, right? Eventually I'd like to kind of aim towards the heavy iron class. For those of you guys that follow Drag Week, that is the all steel with whatever kind of aftermarket frame stuff and suspension stuff and drivetrain stuff you want. So, while I don't think I would ever compete in that class, that's kind of the way I want to go with it, right? The underpinnings can all be new, but I want to stay with OG steel. So, Sandwiches and me are going to hopefully work towards getting this one pulled out and use some of the parts from the old fenders to put together a great set. My steps from before that I put all the work into with the carbon, check that video out if you haven't. I saved from the build, so those will go back on. If I get this other bed, we'll be able to slap that back on because like I said, the frame is pretty much all welded up. The fuel cell's ready to go back in. If I can get that dent taken care of in the cab, the only thing standing between me and having this on the road is replacing a tire and then just getting the plumbing and stuff hooked back up in the electrical, but that's all pretty minor. The big stuff is coming together, guys. Now that I have these, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to go back into them, but we are a huge step closer towards getting her back on the road. Just a few foundational things left to do. A lot of news coming from that direction too. Possibly a couple performance parts are going to find their way over in terms of this rebuild. I've got the big blue nitrous bottle in back there, which I've mentioned to you guys is going to be going in the truck soon. We will be spraying it, as well as a couple boost related things that we're not confirmed on yet, but we're looking that direction depending what comes our way. So there is a ton more coming on the channel, guys. We're definitely returning to automotive content here pretty soon. I'll put up some videos and clips of some other stuff. Definitely check out my build over on the 67 to 72 truck forums. I have little incremental stuff and sort of the detailed writing behind it that comes up over there. Follow me on Instagram at Rev_J_HD. I am on Twitter, but I don't use it quite as much anymore. Please subscribe to the channel, like, comment. I definitely read every comment you guys post. What do you think I should do? Should I think about maybe Frenching new taillights into this? Is losing those reverse cutout lights a big deal, right? I think I'm gonna get past it, but what do you guys think? What do you guys think in terms of what I had and what we're doing? There's a ton more work to go. I'm kind of rambling. I want to keep it short. Rebuild everything. Yukon's chilling. I'm chilling. So how about you guys? How are you guys doing? Is everybody solid? I hope so. I don't know. Like I said, a lot more to come, guys. Definitely check back. More coming from my buddy the Tuner. We're going to be back on the dynos down there in Illinois. Some pretty cool stuff with his Trans Am coming out soon. More coming this summer. I'm trying to get out to more national events. So if you guys think I should make a goal of heading somewhere in specific, let me know. We really want to get back to LS Fest because it's been a couple years since we've done that. So like I said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up. I'm at the rambling point. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.